thought we were supposed to do a sound check.
I did. I did a soundtrack when you threatened to smack someone if they came back in, and that was. I think maybe was it or your child or Christian or your child. Man, that still happens.
Welcome to the Nerdentials podcast, starring your hosts, Joe Tweedy, Matthew Johnson, Nick Thomas, and Lynn Dudgeon.
Welcome to Nerdentials, your weekly dose of the nerdy essentials covering film, TV, video games, and comic books. I'm your host, Joe Tweeden, and joining me in this part 2 of our Xbox game coverage is the lovely red-headed ginger, the Matthew Johnson.
What is up, my people?
Matthew, it is good to hear your voice during these desolate times of uncertainty.
Right. And the fact that I've been on a hiatus for a few months.
I will say
so a couple weeks in a row. I mean,
this is you're setting new records in this
yes.
in this present day tense. We have a possibility of Nick joining us, as he might be dealing with some personal things. He was planning on being here. We'll see. If he is, we'll insert him awkwardly in the middle of our conversation. It'll be fun.
I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah, let's not. I do, however, have
I might pass out from that.
Oh, well, let's not do that. Hopefully.
Oh, wait. I better bring up my notes.
This is good podcasting material, sir.
It is. On that? No, it's not on that.
Hey, while you're doing that, though,
Yes, sir.
I do just have to give a shout out and a potential temporary farewell to a dear host of ours, the Lynn Dudgeon. He has been on every week for as long as I can remember that we've been doing this, and he is on an unknown hiatus of sorts, taking care of life and other things. So for the time being, it'll be me and Nick, and I'm hoping Matthew will be able to pop in a little more often. Otherwise, I'm going to have to find a new crew, and that's going to suck. I'm not doing the podcast thing solo. I've done this group thing for 4 years. We've seen some hosts come and go. We've had guests in the early days. We might have to start having more guests. We're going to see. Leave a comment down below, my friends. Anyone out there that listens. And let me know if you'd like to see some new faces. Our numbers are going to be a little short, possibly through the rest of summer, but we'll take it in stride. If I have to go solo, I will still report on all the gaming news in the next month or so. But that being said, guys, I think it's time for now. One last thing. A little bit of housekeeping before we jump this gun. Guys, we are in podcast and video form, so we are across all platforms. If you like to listen to audio talk shows and stuff, we're all over there. You know, Spotify, Apple, Stitcher Radio, you name it, we're there. And if you want to watch this show, we are now including clips and material with our conversations, so it's not just our faces the whole episode. If you guys want to watch the content, you can go to youtube.com/c/nerdentials. I'd like to give a shout out to our crew. We just finally hit 200 subscribers this week. Woo! And we're coming up close to episode 100. This will mark podcast episode number 94. Now, Matthew, it's not going to be as funny because Lynn would always say it, but I'm just going to say it, dude, for the sake of cheesiness. That means we are one more episode closer to 100. And if I may be so bold,
total.
What? Yeah, well, either way,
6-way.
That's,
I like to subtract.
You do you, boo. You do you. But all of this content can be found in one fancy location if you guys don't want to seek out different apps and websites. You can go to one particular website and see all our content, including articles and reviews at a place called Nerdentialsmedia.com. That's right, friends, Nerdentialsmedia.com. So go check that out. Go check out our social media if you like. It's all the Nerdential social media, Matthew. They don't have to pursue you personally. I'm just saying. But guys, let's kick off the episode with a stinger that we enjoy throwing out there called Gaming Bits. Guys, welcome to Gaming Bits. This is actually part 2 of our Xbox Showcase 2020 coverage. Part 2, part 1, we talked Halo Infinite, Fable, and a couple other titles like Stalker 2, Avowed, State of Decay 3. Now we're going to kind of streamline a little bit through the rest of the list, and we have a couple of titles that we're going to spend a little time on this episode, but we're going to cover the rest of it starting now. So next up is a new IP from developer Rare, infamously known for the last 30 years of developing childhood favorites such as Conker's Bad Furry Day, Banjo-Kazooie, and many other platformers. They did Perfect Dark Zero. Rattle off a few for me, sir. I'm trying to remember all of them. Not all of them, just a few.
Donkey Kong Country.
Yes.
GoldenEye.
Mm-hmm.
Don't odd job that. We're gonna make sure that gets done, man.
That's right.
Newer versions of it. They've did the Kinect Sports series and Viva Pinata.
Yes.
Going back to GoldenEye for a second. You mean Moonraker Elite 2 Granny? Sorry, what?
Also, let's not forget Frogger. Wait.
Or Sea of Thieves.
Toad.
Why are you guys not even
Well, we're
more recently?
Yeah. That's their biggest MMO.
It's actually pretty epic now. They actually have ghost ships, not just skeleton ships.
They've put out a lot of content over the last year. But this is their new iteration called Everwild. It's described as an adventure game, and that's literally all we know. It's next gen, so it's purportedly going to come out after or around the release of Xbox Series X. And from what we can tell in the trailer, it's got a very animated feel to it. As far it's for me, my hot take is it's gorgeous. It's got a lot of magic users and a lot of animals in the wild, hence the name Everwild, and something about them connecting with the animals and protecting them. But we don't know a solid plot yet. And we were talking off air about how I mentioned it feels a little bit like Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild animation. And Matthew, what were you making a callback to?
Sea of Thieves. It looks like the background of it kind of looks like Sea of Thieves, but at the same time, the people and the creatures look like Breath of the Wild. It's just like a nice little mesh.
And can I make a slightly nerdy note that when the big toad in the trailer threw up a bunch of those orange fish and they were all shiny looking, it reminded me of freaking Studio Ghibli animation, some of those films, like that one about the fish girl that wanted to become a human. It kind of reminded me of that one. I should know the title of that one. Shame on me. Nicholas, hot take.
And not gonna lie, it with that spot right there, it kind of made me laugh. So it kind of made me think of Fable in a sense, which, I mean, yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, it's a very vague. I mean, it was very like ethereal, really pretty music and really gorgeous detail. Nicholas, your hot takes are.
I'm almost wondering with the way that this one's portrayed, if it will be along the lines of like what do they call those? The treasure gather games like Banjo-Kazooie, Donkey Kong, the 64 version, all those type of games where you're actually going around looking for things, but instead of looking for items, you're looking for these different creatures. It's almost like you're kind of like a druid type person, and you're cataloging these things so you can better understand what's on this new world.
That is an interesting theory.
And I think it'll just focus on the beauty of the game. And from what we saw in the trailer, I don't think there'll be much fighting. I think it'll just be a beautiful, scenic game, something to relax on.
Going off of that, it kind of almost reminded me of that, what's it called, Ori? The 2D side scroller.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like that's kind of what it seemed like with some of the creatures that you saw, but at the same time, the detail looked really good. It was, I don't know.
Yeah, like when they were carrying that massive ox through the blades of grass, and there was a rock fall that looked really pretty. Or how about the gigantic dog-looking wolf creature that like pulled a tree down? That was pretty epic looking. Yeah, there's a handful
or the four characters making a ritual to liven that dying
deer
animal.
Or whatever it was. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looked very cool. So that's a next gen IP for Rare. So, and Rare has made tons of gold in their IPs, so I look forward to seeing what Everwild procures for us. Next up, I want to just mention it's already available on Xbox Game Pass. Grounded is a survival game developed by Obsidian Entertainment and published by Xbox Game Studios. It's interesting. It looks like it's 4-player based on the thing, and this totally brings me back to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. You're playing basically a teenage group that's lost in a big backyard with ants and bugs and massive blades of grass. And it looks like there's a building element because it is labeled as a survival game. So it looks like you are also going to be, aside from whatever plot there is, you're going to be procuring materials to make a base and fortify and keep yourself safe at night. It looks cool, and I just want to make a comment on the trailer. If you guys remember the narrator, they're like, I thought it was really hilarious. They were taking a jab at themselves by saying, if you're waiting for the next greatest open world,
next big game,
next big gen open world game, then wait for it.
If you're waiting for the biggest game of the year, then wait for Cyberpunk.
And they put up the Cyberpunk 2077 logo, and he's like, and then they just cuts to, but if you want to enjoy a fun adventure now, then it goes on into the explanation of what Grounded is. They've made a couple different jabs, but that was the big one that stood out. I thought that was hilarious. And it looks fun, and it's on Game Pass as of right now. It came out when the week that this was announced. I have it downloaded. I will be doing a player pass video on it if you guys are familiar with that series on our channel. But let me get your guys' hot take. Nicholas, thoughts on this one?
It is, after it released for Xbox, it's actually become right now Steam's biggest seller.
Ooh.
Right now. it's doing so well and people are liking it so much, they are already about to release an update to bring more content into the game.
That's cool.
It's like you said, it almost looks like a third-person over-the-shoulder survival game, but instead of zombies and creatures and everything, you're fighting bugs in your backyard.
Yeah.
So when you said Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, that's exactly what I thought when I saw this preview. And I'm just like, oh my God, I want to play this. I'm actually it's downloading on my Xbox right now.
Yeah, it looks fun. And if there's a way we can join up, we'll have to try and record a little bit of our shenanigans.
I concur.
And to think about it, it's not just random, like, fantastical stuff that you're trying to get and, like, loot and stuff. This is just, like, everyday items in your backyard. You, like, use a milk carton or garbage to build your structures.
Like I said, guys, go check out Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. It's a classic film from the 90s.
Yeah.
It's fun. Matthew, hot take on it.
As soon as I saw the trailer, I immediately thought of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and them trying to work their way back to the house. And what I have it downloaded on my Xbox, like, currently, to test it out. So, I mean, and I think that is it a multiplayer?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
believe
Yeah.
It's a 4-player co-op. But
yeah,
it definitely makes you appreciate survival games. And I say survival because it's not like playing, say, like Minecraft and you have to deal with, like zombies and skeletons and all that fun stuff. You're dealing with ants, spiders, scorpions, and things that, like, you can actually, like.
And they look like they're bigger than you in the game.
Yeah.
So, anything else, Matthew?
It's definitely going to be on my playlist. So.
Yep, it's out. Like I said, guys, Grounded is out now on Game Pass. If you have it, then go download it. It looks good, and we're all going to check it out. Nick, real quick, do you know anything about Exomecha?
It's from Twisted Red, so it can't be horrible. But it looks. I've always been a fan of, like, the mecha type thing, Mech Warriors, all that. I played every Mech Warrior game ever released. But I don't know about this. It's something I'm going to look into just because my love for those Mech Warrior type games, and because it looks interesting. Seeing someone freaking surf on a rocket across the screen on the trailer was kind of interesting.
So we'll put it this way. What we do know is it's planned for the third or fourth quarter of 2021. Mm-hmm. So we got close to a year before we're going to see a playable version of this game. But yeah, it does look like some vehicle options, a lot of high energy action, gadgets and abilities. It looks pretty cool.
And I was reading on it a little bit. It will have a battle royale style in it. So think battle royale, but with mechs.
That could be interesting. So, I mean, that's all I have to. I just wanted to. Yeah, I'll keep what we just said in. We just wanted to mention it because we don't know much about it.
We touched it. We can leave it.
I don't even know.
That's what she said?
Yeah, you said Twisted Red. Okay. And it'll be a free-to-play, competitive first-person shooter that takes place on a planet called Omeka. That's what it's saying.
As we know, every single thing that released on the Xbox Showcase will be free-to-play for Game Pass.
Well,
right.
Some of them will be free-to-play without Game Pass. In this case, Exomecha is free-to-play no matter what subscription you have. But yeah, everything we said, like in part 1 of our coverage here, every title we talk about during the showcase of Xbox will be available to Game Pass holders.
And with this Exomecha, did anybody else think Transformers when they first saw some of those mechs? Like,
I
seriously.
Did.
No, but I know
it looked
you
like
did.
Optimus Prime and freaking Megatron fighting with swords and shit.
Yeah, dude. I was like, what? Then
Totally.
the freaking T-Rex looking thing that was shooting fire. I was like, all right. So we got Beast Wars going. That's cool.
Crazy.
It might be something I dabble into just to like give it a try.
Well, dude,
Although...
I think that's what's awesome about this showcase that we're covering is that all of us are Game Pass holders, and this will be completely free. It just a download button away when it comes out.
Yeah.
So that makes it exciting in and of itself, and I love that Microsoft is doing that because it gives us the opportunity to not waste excessive amounts of money on unknown quantities when it comes to, is a game going to be good or bad? It also means we don't have to wait for the reviews to come pouring out to find out what everyone else thinks. It means, hey, I can check it out day one and formulate my own opinion, and I'm paying for the service, and Microsoft has partnered with a lot of great developers to make this happen. So at the end of the day, the players benefit, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, Xbox partnering with like, what was it, 30 plus different
third-party developers, yeah. Outside of their first-party stuff, yeah. And we're gonna be talking towards the end of this episode about a very big partnership that we're all pretty passionate about. Little teaser there, won't say any more. Let's keep moving through the list, guys. Matthew.
You.
Let's jump into Forza Motorsport, and I'm gonna kind of pass it off to you because you have a history with the series, both the Horizon series and the Motorsport series. Who is the lead developer for this? The big name developer.
Playground.
Is it? Because I thought Playground was a part of the bigger, or is the whole thing Playground?
No, it's Playground. Playground is the people that are also doing Fable. That's their big stick from what they already know. Is Playground Studios is also the ones that did this.
Yeah. I knew Playground was working on it, and I knew they were from the Forza series. I just didn't. Yeah, sorry.
You have Playground, and then the mechanics behind it, I believe, is Turn 10. I believe.
But anyway, give us the spiel about the Motorsport series, Matthew. How many there have been, and what this new release means for the series.
Forza Motorsport. This is going to be essentially the 8th game in the series. Forza Motorsport is like Gran Turismo for PlayStation. It's very racetrack oriented,
simulator-y.
Simulator. And this one is going to be more on top of that. Like, you're going to have more customizations with the cars, and also with how your player is looking. And I really love their Horizon series because it's more open world, but Motorsport, I like NASCAR a lot, so I mean this kind of flows with
in your wheelhouse,
the whole thing. Yeah, and I love racing games. I will always love racing games. The racing games are kind of my forte. And the trailer that they brought to Xbox Showcase, I was like, yes, take my money now, because this one looks completely amazing.
Dude, there is so much photorealism with even just in the bay where they're working on the cars, the mechanics and everything walking around. It's really freaking photorealistic, and it's all supposed to be in-engine because all these games were captured on the Series X hardware regarding the showing them off. So that's pretty exciting just to see how pretty it looks.
So if there's any Forza players out there, feel free to add me. I will add you back. Because, yeah, this is going to be one of those games where I will put money into it.
So, Nick, did you have any thoughts on it, or shall we just move on to the next title?
Don't get me wrong, I do like a good racer. Forza is not one that I've actually gotten into. I've always been a Need for Speed guy.
The simulated underground, the rogue racer. So, let's take a quick look at our next title on here. It's called Tell Me Why. Tell Me Why is an upcoming adventure game from Don't Nod Entertainment and published by Xbox Game Studios. It's planned to be released in 3 episodes across the mid-2020, so like this fall and winter and end of summer, I'm guessing, exclusively to Xbox One and Windows PC. I guess the first episode drops August 27th. The one comment I will make, my hot take, is I mean, this developer, Don't Nod Entertainment, I don't think is like hardcore indie. Maybe they are. So I think the aspect of what we saw in the trailer is going to weigh more heavily on the drama and the acting. It's very story driven. It looks like the episodic Strange Life in that sense, in how the drama plays out. But my only comment is there are moments where the visuals.
Life is Strange is what he's talking about.
What is it?
Life is Strange.
Life is Strange. My bad. But the character models are not necessarily next gen to me as far as the movement, but the environments and everything else, the narrative looks fun and amazing. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Do you agree or disagree with that whole the character
if you
models?
Like playing a teen drama, it'll be fun to play. But that's what these games remind me of. It's like, am I in One Tree Hill? What's going on here? It's just
well,
don't knock One Tree Hill because
I'm saying those are okay to watch, but it's not my shtick. It might be someone else's. But I would also agree that the graphics don't look crazy awesome for them to say it's next gen. This one might appeal to some people in the drama because what's going on behind it. It's about twins. One where they meet in their adult life, go back to their childhood home, but now the male twin has transitioned, and now they're looking back at what caused this path through life.
Yeah,
it's a teen drama.
Yeah, and also I definitely think this is more indie than anything. It's not like a first party studio AAA blockbuster narrative. It's not like Heavy Rain from Sony Entertainment, or not Heavy Rain. You know what I mean? Those particular titles that are very photorealistic, motion capture dramas where you make quick time actions and you choose dialogue and all that. This still looks like it's going to be a pretty deep, heavy drama still. And if it's coming to Game Pass for free, we're all going to check it out.
I'll check it out because I played both Life is Strange and Life is Strange 2. Just because I like the... So with Life is Strange, like, you had the ability to turn back time. With Life is Strange 2, you had different abilities. This looks more towards, like, they're trying to, like, make it sort of like a movie play out as far as the gameplay goes. So I'm kind of intrigued about that, but at the same time, like, I probably won't invest a lot of time, but I will definitely give it a go.
From what I read, you're probably going to go through multiple aspects of the same memory from different points of view from the twins.
Okay.
So it's all about perspective.
Yeah, that'll be a cool experience, I think. Guys, our next title in the showcase is called The Medium. Discover a dark mystery only a medium can solve. Travel to an abandoned communist resort and use your unique psychic abilities to uncover its deeply disturbing secrets. Solve dual reality puzzles, survive encounters with sinister spirits, and explore two realities at the same time. That is the description and synopsis on Steam, and it is slated for holiday 2020. It's the next-gen title. What?
That's my life right now, so... What?
Perfect. It's developed by Boober, the Boober team. That's what Nick's notes say here, and I'm abiding by his notes.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Because I'm not going to read the notes here, Nick, because I'm going to pass it off to you. Since you wrote this in the notes, I'm going to let that be part of your hot take. So, what's your hot take on the trailer that we saw here today?
Yeah, they're called the Bloober team. If you don't know who it is, they're also the makers of Layers of Fear and The Observer.
We have someone here. Ooh, we have two people here who have played one or both of those titles. My first Player Pass episode ever was Observer, and Matthew has played Layers of Fear. And we've all played Silent Hill, which I noticed you reminisced comparison to. What's the hot take on the what, Matthew? Go ahead, speak up, sir. You look very anxious.
Can I just say something about Layers of Fear?
Go for it.
The baby doll head freaking scared the piss out of me. Anyways, what?
Wish we had captured that.
That game brought a whole new level of fear into my life. I mean, I'm glad that it's called Layers of Fear, because as soon as you get into the point where in the game where you're in the baby area and the cribs, and all of a sudden there's a huge freaking doll that's just staring at you. I don't like dolls, and that just really scared the piss out of me. And that was actually caught on camera when I was streaming back in the day.
I remember you did stream it. Oh my goodness. And I'm sad that we didn't include that in a Let's Play, Matthew. Shame on us.
That I feel bad for a lot of people that didn't get actually to see that. But
Matthew.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry.
No, you're fine.
Continue.
We mentioned it off air. You and me talked off air prior to recording about my game plan, hashtag gaming, plan for the rest of this year and what titles I'd be jumping into and themes I'd like to hit. And one of them our Nerdentials here has been missing our October Scarefest of gaming, and we haven't done that for at least the last two Halloweens. So
last Halloween I did a Scarefest of movies.
Yes, we have a whole bunch of, and I need to finish a few of them, but we have a whole bunch of horror movie reviews on our website that we plugged at the beginning of this episode. So that's another reason to go check out the website. But I want to go back to, we can still do horror movies too. If Nick, if you want to go back and do more of those, that's great. But I also want to go back to doing the gaming, because we launched our channel in October of 2016, and we did horror games. Me and Matt did at the beginning. And
how dare you ask me to help make content?
I know.
Ouch! I almost just fell back in my chair. That would have been bad.
I don't pay you. I don't pay you, so it's more of would you like to, is what I meant. But that being said, my game plan is to hit a number of recent horror game titles. At least play the first hour of each one, or do a full playthrough, so that we can have scary gameplays every day in the month of October. That's my goal. So I'm going to actually start recording some of them this month, so we have a backlog of horror game content for October. That's the goal.
Perfect.
And this is not behind the scenes. I'm not cutting this out. I want our listeners to know to expect that. In October, we're going to have a bunch of scary games, and hopefully Matt will stream a few of those. Once he makes his move, he is going to do some more streaming. And I told him, hey, when October comes, do some scary games, please.
Hey, and we can do some couch co-op with some scary games, because you'll be close.
That too.
Outlast 2.
Oh, yeah, no, those are fun.
Be my first game. So,
Your first one going back to doing scary games?
Yeah, because we did the demo.
We did, and we need a follow-up to that demo 4 years later.
I had never played an Outlast game before.
Well, Matthew,
Say what?
make sure you include Nick during one of those streams, okay? Make sure he's sitting with you when you do it, because I think that would be precious. Secondly, let's get your hot take on the medium, Matthew. Let's jump back into that. we only deviated a little bit.
Since now we were talking about Silent Hill, like this totally reminisced like a lot of Silent Hill, specifically Silent Hill 3 or Silent Hill 4, for me.
That's pretty specific.
Those ones actually had the
back and forth
scare factor to me.
Oh,
yeah. Well, 2 kind of, but 3 definitely just kind of hit a little bit harder for me. I don't know why, but that's.
Also, Matthew,
hold on. You're talking about the freaking Pyramid Head.
Nick was referencing Pyramid Head.
He's talking about Pyramid Head. That wasn't that scary. I mean, he's big and bad, but
I played number 2 back in the day, and Pyramid Head was not fun, because that was back when Silent Hill had fixed perspectives like the old Resident Evil games, and you would run down a corridor, run through a door, and the camera angle would change on you, and you'd accidentally run back into the room.
And you would know that they were there because the static on your radio would start. And you're like, oh shit, where are they?
So with Silent Hill 3, you were playing as a little girl going through all this little stuff, and it just kind of hit a little bit harder because this guy in a tuxedo kept freaking chasing you. Yeah, anyways.
But medium. That's what we need to we need to get back to.
Was it Tom Hanks? Sorry, bad joke. Let's continue.
So how about this trailer? How about the fact that Next Gen is showing off dual realities in high fidelity? We're seeing the demonic realm, and we're seeing her reality of walking through like an abandoned mansion, and then we're seeing the horrors behind it.
My hard take on this is one of my favorite scary games is Alan Wake. Okay.
Ooh. Recent player pass view.
I've never played it.
I'm go check out my video, Nick. It's on our channel.
Okay, I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that. Anyways, so when I saw the medium, it definitely kind of brought me back to that aspect with Alan Wake. Like, it looks like a game that I want to invest my time in. Mm-hmm. As soon as the trailer ended, I said, take my money. Just like I saw with Forza Motorsport. Like, I was just like, I will buy this game because I like the out of the norm kind of scary games. Like Layers of Fear, for one. Like, that game I put money into. It scared the piss out of me. This game is like a continuation off of that, only third person, and you get to see both perspectives simultaneously at the same time. So you're like walking down a hallway, and there's a spot where you're like going on a freaking ledge, but the ledge is only on one side, not on the other side. Like, it's just
and you know what, Matthew,
crisp. Sorry, I'm sorry.
No. I wanted to add to that. It's something I just realized game mechanically, that not only might you need to be paying attention to both halves, because so I don't know, but I'm theorizing here with two different realities, there's another factor here that we're not like immediately thinking of, and that's you look over one side and you're walking through an empty corridor in an abandoned asylum, let's say, and then you hear a noise but there's nothing on the left, and you forget to look back over in the demonic side, and then suddenly something rips at you. That's going to be like an excessive that's going to be another level of the term thriller, suspenseful horror, because you're going to be watching yourself on both sides, even though the movement's identical. Like you're only controlling one, but you're seeing a mirror of two. But there's going to be things happening on the horror side that catch you off guard while you're moving down an empty corridor on the left. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the kind of brings it back to my first take when playing with headphones. The first game I ever played with headphones, horror game, was Condemned.
Oh yeah,
that game. I'm just gonna go with like, take my money. I'm already invested into this thing.
We're all excited.
Layers of Fear was amazing. Layers of Fear 2, I haven't dabbled in, but I will do that for the Halloween segment as well.
You could do 2, and that'd be great if you do, because I was going to try out 1 for the first time. I've never played it, and I have it downloaded. And I know, but I figured this October would be a great way to sample multiple titles. I may not play the whole game through the month of October, but I'm going to try multiple horror games. And I've never done Layers of Fear.
You've got to try the whole freaking game of Layers of Fear.
Oh, I mean, I
like
will. Yeah.
So
sorry,
Nicholas.
Nick.
Oh, you're fine.
We covered a game a while back that they showed in one of the showcases on something. It was a very Prometheus type feel, very sickly, grotesque. The shooter survival, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what it was called. Was it called Scourge?
Prometheus.
Oh, yeah, because all the art on that was from Geiger. It was all resemblance of you know what I'm talking about?
Sort of, but where are you trying to go with this, I guess?
Where I'm going with this is another game that is taking liberties and basing the idea, the world, and everything that they're building on that dark side off of a very well-known artist.
Oh,
this game Medium is based. The artwork is based off of
Clive Barker.
No, you're thinking a different thing.
I am sorry.
That's okay.
Thought I nailed it.
Give me a second.
He's talking about the game that I was trying to talk about last time.
Are you thinking of Lovecraftian stuff?
No.
We're hitting a brick wall here, Nicholas.
Give me a second.
I'm feeling inspired and then thrown into a wall twice in a row. I'm unwilling for a third. And the silence became deafening.
The game we were talking about before was called Scorn.
Oh,
and it's
that
based
was
off the works of H.R. Geiger.
Okay, Scorn was revealed during the Inside Xbox reveal a month ago. Well,
we talked about that.
Yeah. And we covered it, yeah.
No. Well, and I was saying this one is based. This one's work is based off of another well-known. Yeah,
I wasn't here.
Okay.
No, Matthew, sorry, you weren't. But in a few episodes back, we covered it.
This is based off of Zdzisław Beskiński, a Polish artist most known for what he called dystopian surrealism. So that whole like distorted post-apocalyptic world you're seeing on the demon side is based off of actual artwork he's done.
That's crazy, dude.
And not only are we going to have what's up?
Nothing. Go on. Finish.
I saw the look on Matt's face.
Oh.
I just know that Ebb Software, they make some pretty epic freaking scary games. Like PT for PlayStation, that was I believe, Ed Software.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I was just looking at Scorn because you guys brought it up.
Hey, you haven't seen it yet? Yeah, you should check some pictures out.
Not only is this game going to be rendered individually for both sides at the same time, it's also going to have a dual soundtrack. Each side will have its own soundtrack.
So you're going to hear it in the left and right ear, I'm guessing, if you have headphones?
I assume so.
Yes.
But they're touting it as a dual immersive atmospheric music done by Akira Yamaoka and Arkadiusz Rakowski. Akira Yamaoka, Japanese video game music composer, has done Silent Hill Revelations, Silent Hill, whole bunch of ambient music for other games. His main thing is dark ambient music. He's most known for all his work in all the Silent Hill games.
That's why I'm like, wait a minute. That's why I know that guy's name.
Mm-hmm.
What the crap?
Mm-hmm.
That's right, Matthew.
And this will be a completely original soundtrack for this.
Take my money.
Yep.
Well, Matthew, they only have to take your money
Times
once, not 5 times.
Take my money twice. No, nope.
No, but it does look very, very intriguing, having the two sides there. I want to see more of the creature that they call the Ma.
The Ma.
Uh-huh. And just the idea of this demonic world with this other one in the way it's perceived at the same time is what's going to make this different than Silent Hill games. Because Silent Hill games, when you're on there, there's a definite switch. It's like, the raid sirens are going, things are switching, prepare your bow. This one is at any given time, you got to take control of either side.
Word.
And the whole aspect of the whole like soundtrack going from right ear to left ear, that's going back to Condemned playing in the dark and hearing a freaking bucket that you run over across in the back end of you're just like, wait a minute, what?
Cause you to look over your own dang shoulder.
No, the games that use the smart sound technology, that when you hear something run from here and then in your headset, it ends up over here and you're like, whoa, that's trippy. So, and we're getting into this.
When you do that in a horror game, dude, it amps the
in the dark
freak out so much more.
At midnight. Yeah. We're not good. Sorry. I'm sorry that we didn't, like start this back when Condemned first came out, because that game scared the piss out of me when I was playing it.
I remember you showing me. I played it with you over at your house.
Nope.
That being said, guys, this is why I put timestamps in for our listeners.
Sorry.
No, I'm kidding. We do need to crank through the next few, not spend too much time on them, because there's one more title before we wrap up that we may end up talking longer than intended, and we know why. So, guys, I'm just going to cover a few of these briefly and get just some hot takes on them.
There's about 5 that I could talk extendedly on, but we're not going to go there.
I know we're just trying to do a showcase coverage, and when it gets closer to them releasing, we will dive in more. Guys, next title is Watch Dogs Legion. This is the 3rd title in the Watch Dogs franchise. It is developed by Ubisoft Toronto division and published by Ubisoft itself. It is one of their flagship titles. Legion is an action-adventure game, and it looks like it's supposed to come out this next-gen release. I don't remember the overall plot in this, but what I do know is the big, huge gameplay change factor in this from all previous Watch Dogs is that you are not just taking on one protagonist and trying to work your way through the ranks of hackerism. You are now part of an elite group of rogues, and you are going to take on a character. You're going to go through it, and if your character dies, you come back as a different person, and the entire time you're able to freely recruit anyone in the city. And just like you would in like Watch Dogs 1, where you would scan people to look if they had money, look at what their jobs, personality, all that. You get the
and 2.
Well, I know 1 and 2 did the same thing. So instead of just hacking people's money, you're going to be scanning them to figure out what their skills are and trying to recruit them to your cause. And inevitably, you at some point might die, and you will be taking over possibly one of your recruits as your lead character. So there's multiple characters you're going to be playing as in this sandbox of hackerism. What's your guys' hot take, and have either of you played any of the previous titles up to this point?
I've played both.
It's actually one of the ones I haven't gotten into. I've thought about getting into it. It's just I'm usually broke.
Yeah.
So,
Matthew, what's your history and interest in this latest title?
I think I got, so for the first game, Watch Dogs, I got 90% gamer score for it. There was a few things that I just didn't really care about to get, so.
Still impressive.
And I think for the second game, I got about 80%. So I've dwelled enough into it to know like what to expect. But when they said that you're able to like take over another person that's also got the same kind of characteristics, abilities as the character that you normally played as in the first two, it kind of made me happy because you could play as an old lady.
Yeah, they showed that in the trailer.
Yeah. That kind of made me giggle, and it kind of also made me reminisce on I think a movie called Red 2 or Red, both of them, where it's like a group of old people that are not terrorists, but assassins, and it just it made me chuckle. Anyways, the MMO style of this game seems a little bit more geared towards something I would play quite frequently, because you can talk to somebody that they're playing their own little game, and you can join them simultaneously right when and help them out with their situation.
Huh. Crazy.
Yeah. So it's not like where you gotta be like, add me to your game. You just like, oh, so you're playing your game, you need help, I can just tag along with you.
Also, we're in London this time. That's a little bit of a change of scenery.
Yes. Instead of New York and
the old London town.
Something else. I can't remember.
It's all good. Looks like it's been pushed back to October 29th. Originally it was supposed to come out in March, but due to uncertain times and a pandemic, it got pushed back. So we should see this end of October. So something to look forward to. Let's see.
And with it being on, the pass, everybody that has the pass can try it out to see if they like it. If not, it's not everybody's forte, but being able to drive down the street and turn on the freaking green light, yeah, call me in.
I am still blown away that we're going to have that option. I mean, to play these games, day one.
I think Nick has something to say for something over there.
Nick, you want to say something?
No, I'm just waiting to catch you before you try to skip the next one.
Go ahead. Nothing?
Watch Dogs does seem interesting, so I'm ready for it. But have you guys ever played Left 4 Dead?
Yes. The original.
Have you guys touched the Vermintide games? It's all kind of the same feel. World War Z. It's off the same formula that Left 4 Dead started, where you're a group of...
So you're telling me that you've played World War Z or anything like that, but you haven't touched State of Decay? You fail me.
Why do I fail?
You know, it's funny. I remember when we talked about State of Decay, you both agreed that you would have it downloaded and be playing together, and a week later, nothing has happened.
It's ready.
I know, and nothing's happened.
State of Decay 3 isn't out yet.
No,
you're
State of
talking
Decay.
sorry,
I
State of
downloaded
Decay
State of
2.
Decay 2, and I've started playing it.
I didn't know this. My bad.
What I'm saying is, this same model and thing, the makers of Warhammer 40k, Warhammer Vermintide, use this model to make a game where you use swords and axes and take on streams and streams of the Vermintide, rat men that are just trying to destroy the world. They took that same concept and took us to the 41st century with space marines and plasma guns and everything that's wonderful about 40k. And now we are fighting hives of tyrannid minions and zombies and critters. Yeah, what's up?
I've never touched Warhammer.
This one I'm excited about, and I think this will be a great one for all of us to play when it comes out, because it is a 4-player co-op, and it's you got to get from point A to point B and survive, and that's the whole point of it, as you fight through hordes of things.
Gotcha. Hordes.
Yep.
Sorry, I just reminisced about Gears 3 and Gears 4.
Yeah,
What?
it's from this is from the game creator Fat Shark. And it's going to be awesome. But we do have another game that we want to talk about next. It is a game we have been waiting for. Oh, did you guys have anything else to say about this game?
No,
I've
Nick,
never played them.
Thank you for pioneering that next step in there. I'm not going to worry about deets until a later time. It looks cool. This one's described as a 4-player co-op action game, Warhammer, I look forward to checking it out.
I think all Warhammers were 4-player co-op. I think.
No, I think all the
just the Vermintide.
The older ones are RTS style, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh.
The other Warhammers that I'm familiar with are PC originated, RTS top down battle, But this one's going to be more run and gun, you know what I'm saying? Anyway.
I got you.
The next game we have all been waiting for 20 years.
20? Oh my gosh.
This is a game made by a company called Double Fine Productions.
Mm-hmm.
Classic Treasure Seek style game in the same vein as stuff like Banjo-Kazooie, Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Double Fine's also known for the Costume Quest series that me and my daughters enjoy thoroughly.
Uh-huh. But this sequel that I'm talking about is, only way I can describe it, is magically trippy. This game is called Psychonauts 2. And if any of you are a fan of the original game, it still lives up to its glory to this day. I pulled it out and played it yesterday.
Psychonauts is amazing.
Yes.
Having the ability to go into somebody else's head in dreams and see what the heck they're thinking about.
I was wondering what that trailer was all about.
Oh, yeah, Psychonauts. You're a person who is tasked with going in and helping people through their mental crap, quite literally.
Damn. That's heavy.
You go in for them and... Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, you're basically a psychiatrist that has the ability to actually, take care of the problem at the root, because you can go inside their head. And the stuff that you find not only is kind of creepy sometimes, but at the same time is also menacing.
Right.
And sometimes beautiful. Psychedelically so.
And beautiful, yes. But
I would definitely say get out there and watch the preview for the trailer for this Psychonauts 2.
Yeah, it looks like a fun platformer.
Bring back the feel of it. Yeah. And it's time for a good platformer.
I was gonna say, like, this came back out when the original Xbox was out. Mm-hmm. So that's how long this sequel. People have been wanting the sequel for many, many years, and now there's just like, oh, hey, look, and then just slap it in our face. Like, I just feel like you're a dick.
Matthew, on a side note, for all the young post-millennial children out there, that's 2001 for the original Xbox. So it's been a
20
minute.
years.
Yes, 2 decades. Can you believe it? We've been playing for more than 2 decades in gaming. Well, we have. I don't know about our listeners, but we have. Nary 3 decades.
Got 3 decades.
Matthew, we don't need to age ourselves.
Mickey Mouse.
Just know, people, we are old.
Older. I don't want to offend the older audience either, who might be older than us. I mean, we might have some 50-year-olds up in here that are like, I really like Nerdentials. Oh, these assholes think they're older? Really? I'm kidding, guys. We love any and all nerds. But let's move on in our list. We got a couple more. Let's beeline these next few.
Do it to it.
Okay, we got Phantasy Star Online 2, New Genesis. Does anyone know anything about it? I've never played expansion to what's already there. All right. You know what?
Go ahead.
Matthew,
Matt has something.
You got something?
Phantasy Star Online is freaking amazing. Like,
I was not trying to dismiss it if anyone here had a passion for it, so go on.
The original game came out on GameCube, and yes.
Okay.
Why are you? Hold on. Why are you shaking your head there, buddy?
Yeah, make the correction, Nicholas. What's the fact?
The original Phantasy Star came out on Sega.
What?
Sega what?
Sega.
Probably Dreamcast. Wait,
1987. What? The original Sega console.
Okay, no. Not Phantasy... Okay,
but that's what it's based off of.
Phantasy Star Online.
Okay, Nicholas. He's talking about the online franchise.
Yes.
That's all.
Not Phantasy Star itself.
You crazy mofo.
Well, anyways. Okay, so Phantasy Star Online, I actually played with a friend of ours, Nicholas. Jennifer.
Yeah.
Yep. Interesting.
She actually kind of introduced me to that game because that game, like, I wasn't really, like, I didn't know what the heck to think about it. And then all of a sudden I was going over to her house playing that game all the freaking time because it's kind of addicting. It's kind of like your choice anime type of thing, if you want to classify it as that. You build your character, you go in, you take care of a lot of enemies, build your character up, kind of like, like Destiny 2, Halo,
Any MMO.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. So with Phantasy Star Online 2, New Genesis, I have Phantasy Star Online 2. It's pretty in-depth. There's a lot of different things you can do with it. You can actually gamble on this game, which is actually kind of awkward.
Like old school Diablo 3 before they banned that option. Wait, not gambling.
Right.
That's trading. Sorry, wrong topic.
You can also cook things in this game. And with New Genesis, it actually makes it a little bit more visibly appealing. Phantasy Star Online 2 right now isn't the greatest with the graphics, but what this looks like is actually kind of gearing towards the original Phantasy Star Online for GameCube. Probably for Sega Dreamcast if that was around at that time too. but I digress. I will probably download this just because I have it. My daughter plays it. It's actually not that bad for kids to play.
You heard it here, folks. You heard it here first, folks. Matthew
Maybe 11
recommends
11 cut off.
PSO2 New Genesis.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be playing it, so you want to check it out with me? Add me. Good to go.
I want to streamline the end of this a bit. We have Balan Wonderworld, which is a platformer by Square Enix, makers of Sonic the Hedgehog and so forth. Then we have The Gunk, which is an interesting Blanks the Time Sweeper style platformer where this little girl on an alien world has a vacuum gun that manipulates this weird black goo. Very sci-fi-y. The Gunk. Then we have As Dusk Falls. That's the graphic novel style narrative game where it's a bunch of moving pictures but not full-blown animation, and it's not full live action. It's a bunch of still images with ambient movement in the pictures and a bunch of voice actors. Then Echo Generation is hardcore harping on the vibes of Stranger Things and nostalgic 80s sci-fi mysteries.
Mm-hmm.
And then Crossfire X, I don't know too much about it. It just seems like an overbloated shooter.
Take my money.
I mean, it looks pretty. I'll give it that.
Crossfire X is actually one of the biggest first-person shooters. The only reason why you don't hear about it is where it's big is in places like China, Japan, and Korea. Crossfire has been a series that's been going for a really long time with millions, almost billions of followers. This Crossfire, what?
Also, arcades. Crossfire, yeah. You can play Crossfire in arcades a lot.
Crossfire X, where this is going to be insane. This is the first time where they're going to be trying to tie in a storyline, and Remedy has jumped on to partner with this to make sure the storyline comes out good.
Nice. Dude, I realized you actually put notes in for that one. Didn't even think twice about it, but then I was like, oh snap, you know a bit about this and you have a little bit of feelings behind it. Oh snap.
It's a shooter I play on my computer all the time.
Absolutely, dude. That's awesome. And I mean, the trailer looked great. All of these looked great. Between Balan Wonderworld, The Gunk, As Dusk Falls, Echo Generation, I want to mention these. I'm not cutting this out. What I'm saying right now is the actual conversation we're having, because I'm not trying to deep dive into all these, because I'm trying to get to the D2 Beyond Light conversation, because we're already...
Oh, I understand.
We're almost at 2 full hours of recording, and that's fine.
I just wanted to quickly say something about Crossfire because I knew about it.
Yeah, no.
And because it's going to be done by Remedy. So that means something to all of us.
Yeah, no, Nick, everything you just said about it, I'm leaving in the edit. And my proposition here, I just mentioned the other 4 titles, Balan Wonderworld, The Gunk, Dusk Falls, Echo Generation. Of those 4 titles, which ones stood out to you as most interesting, and which ones are you looking forward to trying out first of those?
They don't seem interesting to me.
And that's fair.
There's certain type of games that I like, and the Balan Wonderland, The Gunk, As Dusk Falls is another teen drama. It's a drama in general. It's a played-out drama.
Yeah,
I don't like those type of games. And there's nothing against them. There are people that love those games and can just spend hours doing them. It's just, I don't feel any...
What are you trying to say?
I'm joking.
Do you think you'll try out Echo Generation, at least? The one that looks like Stranger Things? Mystery platformer? Nostalgic 80s.
It will be free. I'll look into it.
Obviously, that's like the cheap response, but I'll take it. It's fine. I gotta give it over to Matthew because I haven't gotten his response. Of those platformers and adventure games, do any of them stick out to you as one you want to try first, Matthew?
As far as the 4 that you brought up,
The last 4 before we get into the final topic.
4.
Yeah. Any of them stick out to you?
What's the final topic?
Destiny 2, bro. Fuck. We haven't.
I thought we were talking about Crossfire. Crossfire.
No, everything that Nick said about Crossfire I'm leaving in, and it's already been said.
Okay.
So, I'm talking about these last 4 smaller titles.
I might give the Gunk a little bit of a try, to kind of see like what it's about. It looks like something that my daughters would enjoy more.
Yeah.
From what I've seen. As far as the other ones, I'm gonna say probably I might stick into it for maybe like 20 to 30 minutes to see if I like it, but they don't excite me like some.
They don't grab you over some of the other.
Right.
Actually, out of the 4, I thought I might give Balan Wonderland a try because it is made by Square, and I am a Square Enix, Squaresoft fan through and through.
Fair enough.
Where most people think about that, it's Final Fantasy, hands down. Final Fantasy, Legend Dragoon. So they are known for quality games. So I will at least give it a try.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say my hot take interest here. Even the soundtrack was like I felt almost ripping off Stranger Things, but because of that, Echo Generation is the most personally drawing for me. Second place or tied for is the Gunk, just because I'm very curious about the gameplay, and it's a really unique alien world setting, and she's got this crazy equipment, this little girl that just manipulates, and I'm curious about how unique the gameplay might be. Because there's a scene in that trailer where she's running through a tunnel and she needs to cut through, and so she activates the vacuum device on her gauntlet, and it sucks out a hole in the side of the cave where the black tar-like goo is, and she gets through it. And I was like, I'm very curious, I don't know, how complex that gameplay becomes the more you get into it. So, Echo Generation, I got nostalgic grabbing at me, and the Gunk is pure curiosity. Balan Wonderworld, it's going to be on Game Pass, so I will try it out, but it's at the bottom of my list of these titles, and as dusk falls, like Matt said, I'll probably give it 20-30 minutes just to see how it plays out. And if it's a gripping enough story, maybe I play the whole thing, who knows. But guys, that's gonna... Oh, I do want to get a brief comment from you guys on what you thought about Tetris Effect Connected.
Flying Peace.
Just, what does it even look like to you guys? It looks like you can connect globally. It looks like you can go up to 4 players side by side by side. It looks like certain people can throw bricks over to another column or another player. I saw a little bit of that. It was a really vague, artsy, very community-connected trailer, because the whole first half of that trailer is people playing at home on their consoles, faces of families, moms, dads, grandparents, cousins, uncles, aunts. Everyone's playing Tetris, and then they finally show you this neon-style version of Tetris. Matthew, you looked like you had something to say as I was talking about this. What do you think about this Tetris Effect?
To be honest, It looks pretty epic as far as a Tetris game goes. It's Tetris, when you play it like multiplayer, you would almost like take turns with it. It wasn't really something where what this kind of does with multiplayer looks more like Dr. Mario.
Did you ever play original classic Game Boy Tetris, and did you ever system link between two Game Boys and do direct comp?
Yeah.
So
back in the day.
So, I know, back in the day, 30 some odd years ago, do you remember that there was a mode where every layer you destroyed added a layer to your opponent?
Oh, you're right.
I remember,
yes.
Yeah, there was a direct attack, and like the faster you destroyed layers, the higher they got backed up and stacked up to where it was basically like who could destroy each other first.
Yeah.
And that was like the original Tetris competition.
And the fact that this is going to be 4-player doing that at the exact same time.
I'm curious.
So you don't know exactly like where the attack's going to be coming from, because they choose like.
I wonder how freeform it is, because it's really vague in the trailer. But like,
yeah,
do you have an option to throw it over to a specific player, or is there a co-op aspect too? Is there like a co-op where you're all 4 of you are helping each other destroy the layers? Because that's what it kind of looked like briefly in the trailer.
Well, it looked like there was a battle mode, because each player. So there was the 4-player, and each one of them had like there was a blue stack, a yellow stack, a red stack. I can't remember the other color.
I know they were all different colors. Yeah.
And they were all kind of like going in different. When somebody cleared a thing, it would go over to like say player 1. So I'm guessing like, so with that aspect, it looked like you could choose like, hey, throw this to this person and get them out faster, kind of a thing.
It's all a curiosity to me, and I love classic Tetris. And if this is coming to Game Pass, like we know it seems like it's going to with everything they've said, I'm excited to try it out.
And it kind of, what that kind of reminds me of is also a time that I don't really like to talk about, with me being on shrooms. And
wow. I know the podcast is listed as explicit, dude, but damn.
I miss those days. I mean, what?
Well, okay, so never mind. I'm not even going to dive into that. Let's just say that it gave me nightmares for a moment, because I was playing Tetris at the time, and when I looked up, blocks were coming down at me.
I remember you telling me that story. Wow.
So I'm just like, oh great, now it's 4-player, and now I'm going to have to like, okay.
Quadruple the nightmare?
Yeah. But Tetris always has a piece of my heart, because back on Nintendo, Game Boy, that was one of those games where I would actually like go to like World 99 and beat it and hear the marvelous Russian music out of the Pied Piper that stood on the top of the... Never mind. Anyways.
It's the Russian.
You're all crazy.
This game, I will get this game, regardless of what happens. And it'll be something that me and my kids can play together over and over again. I'll probably beat them, but at the same time, they could... If there's like a 2-player versus 2-player kind of a thing going on, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
As soon as I saw the Tetris thing on there, I'm like, what? And then the image of Tetrasy, the Greek god of blocks, came into my head, and all I got in the back of my mind was line piece. Line piece.
Dude.
No one has any idea what I'm talking about? College humor?
No.
Tetris gods.
I kind of Can I make a honorable mention here before we go into Destiny 2 though?
God, don't mention that. I'm kidding. Go on.
For shizzle, my nizzle, kadizzle. For rizzle.
A game that comes out in August that we have been waiting for like 2 years. Battletoads is finally here. I'm sorry. This August 20th, I believe it drops. And this game, I played this game mercilessly at the arcades and on Super Nintendo or Sega. Sega, I believe, actually.
Yes. Sega, yes.
I love Battletoads, and it's finally releasing in August. Sorry, I just had to throw that out there.
Matthew, I am excited for you.
We haven't been waiting 2 years. We've been waiting the better part of 30.
What? Okay.
For an official sequel, yes. They released an HD version of the classic on Rare Replay, which was very.
As soon as it was mentioned, it was 2 years ago that they mentioned it that was coming to Xbox.
I remember.
Every year I kept.
So what Matthew is saying is from the time he found out it was a possibility, he's been waiting 2 years for that outcome.
No, and I understand. Yes. The second Microsoft bought Rare, we're like, yes.
Is Joe talking?
Yeah. Do you have him muted? Oh. He's shitting with you. Continue. I'm sorry. He's going to stab you when he sees you.
Yeah, so the last game we want to talk about that's actually pretty freaking exciting, especially regarding the partnership that Microsoft has laid out regarding this. Guys, we're going back to a very passionate franchise that all of us have loved over the last few years, and that is Destiny 2. But more specifically, the new content coming out this fall is the next fall expansion. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, this is year 3 for Destiny 2. Year 3?
Yes.
Year 4.
Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. Right here.
Oh, yeah.
Year 4, Season 12.
See, I should not be leading this. The partnership I want to point out is that Bungie is bringing Destiny 2 to Xbox Game Pass. Now, what's interesting about this is it's here. I want to read this article from Forbes. It says, not just the base game, which is already free to play, because as of this summer, they made the base game of Destiny 2 free to play for everyone. Stadia, Steam, PC, Xbox, PlayStation, you name it, free to play. But all of its paid expansions, including Forsaken, Shadowkeep, and to everyone's surprise, this fall's Beyond Light is actually coming on to Game Pass. So, aside from just being on Game Pass at all, the fact that all the content that means they are partnering in a way that all third-party partnerships do for Game Pass is that means, well, maybe not third-party, but first-party titles. All expansions that come out on first-party titles for Game Pass are free additions to the game. You know, like State of Decay 2 has had 3 expansions now, and it's all been free and part of Game Pass. But that means Bungie's doing the same thing. They're offering all their expansions with the base game on Game Pass. That's freaking epic, and I want to get your hot takes. Matthew, I'll let you go first.
Bungie is back with the Microsoft. That's all you gotta know.
Let's rephrase that. Bungie's independent, and Microsoft gave them an offer they couldn't refuse.
Yes.
Wink, wink.
They will give you an offer you can't refuse.
It's a smart move on Bungie's part to be doing this to get their game more associated with Xbox, because everybody has always been kind of ticked off with the Activision PlayStation exclusive attribute to this. However, with Bungie not being with Activision anymore, now they're able to expand how their game will be brought out. And with Beyond Light, the addition to with the supers that we already have, having the ability for stasis with supers now, it just kind of I've been waiting for kind of like an ice aspect with this whole thing.
If I can just Matthew, if I can just
Sorry.
No, you're fine. If I can just backtrack slightly, by adding 2 more small details to this Game Pass aspect. Let's also consider the fact that Bungie being independent, also having cross-save, they as a company are expanding their game exponentially with that in place. And during the reveal, it was shared that xCloud, the game streaming service that Microsoft is implementing, is going to be part of the Game Pass cost, meaning it will be no extra subscription fee. It will be free with Game Pass, which also means that Destiny will be playable over mobile devices with a decent connection. So, like, if I want to go to Zur briefly and see what he's doing, but I don't have time to go to my Xbox, I could pop on Destiny 2 and actually do what we dreamed about doing on my phone.
Yes. Instead of trying to use a little app to, like, switch your weapons from your Titan to your Hunter to your... Yeah, anyways, what?
Management system. I want to throw it over to Nick for a second. I just want to get a few thoughts from him. How do you feel about this crazy partnership?
We kind of saw it coming.
We hoped it was coming.
Yes. But as soon as they left Activision and that door was open, and Phil Spencer's like, "Come home, baby, come home." we were like, you know what's going to happen, because Microsoft has been doing something very brilliant with what they do. They don't just say, "Hey, let's buy you anymore, and we control everything," like all the other studios are doing. They are buying these companies, and they're buying into these companies. They're making an investment with a partnership, saying, "Hey, we know what you do best. We want you to do it, and we're going to support you as long as you support us." And that's one thing Phil Spencer has brought to this. And I don't care what I'm not turning this into a whole Sony Xbox thing, but I have so many people that are like, "You should go to Sony because they have better exclusives." I don't care. It's these partnerships that they're building into that are going to give us these things that you're saying that you guys have. We're already seeing these crazy things that we wanted to happen. And it's not about how much money they can make. It's about what they can do for the gamers.
Mm-hmm.
And that is where my money goes.
Yeah, dude. I'm just personally,
this partnership is brilliant.
Personally, I'm just excited. I don't have to pay into another expansion ever again, as long as they're on Game Pass. And dude, that brings Nick into the fold. His college broke ass self can now be all caught up through Game Pass.
But the pre-order stuff that came with the game,
Matthew,
can't get with
Matthew. No, you can't. And if you care that much about the nickel and dime bonus stuff, go for the pre-order. But the same goes for all games on Game Pass. You can buy them outside of Game Pass.
Can I say something, Matt? The last two expansions, your pre-order shit, you can buy separately without buying the game. You could buy the digital package just for the pre-order shit.
I just I want the No Time to Explain with this DLC, because that pulse rifle is a godsend. I mean, what?
If they keep it the same way it was before.
Poof. What do you need, Matthew? Poof. What do you need? Poof. What do you need?
What do you mean from the same as it was before? Of course it's gonna be the same. Like Bad Juju. Bad Juju was the same as it was before.
Guys,
it's a little bit different, but I still like it.
Guys, I just need the hot take on the reveal. We don't have time for a deep dive. We are already 2 full hours into this part tour.
I'm not gonna lie. I was watching the video, and as the video's going, you're seeing the ice fly in. In the back of my mind is stop, collaborate, and listen. Ice Baby start going in the back of my head. Vanilla ice, baby. Go ahead.
I do. Okay, when it gets closer to release, we will reconvene on a deeper talk about the State of Destiny. No, I am. Do you have any more you want to say about the reveal, or are we all just excited and happy about the partnership, and we'll talk more later? Don't make this hard, Matthew. Okay. Guys, I dare say that we have covered the entire showcase, Xbox 2020. I'm proud to say that we've mentioned every title here. We don't have release dates for everything, but it's all there. And we'll have timestamps of everything. This is a 2-part episode. There was a lot of titles to cover. So
all of which will be a part with Game Pass again.
And because of that, you're either going to see complete walkthroughs on our channel, or at the very least, you're going to see my Player Pass take on every single title that comes out through Game Pass, because those are the series that we do got going on our channel right now.
Now, Joe, with those Player Pass, anything that has a co-op feature, please let me know. I will gladly join you.
I will absolutely keep that in mind, because I think it would be best to get a full take on something, especially if the game is specifically co-op, then it makes sense to do that. So we will all keep each other informed on these upcoming releases.
Oh yeah.
That being said, guys, I just want to remind everyone that we are found across all podcast platforms, and this show is also visible on YouTube. Just type in your Google search engine the word Nerdentials, and you'll find all our content across the web. And the one particular site you can go to if you want to find us all in one place is nerdentialsmedia.com. That's right, guys. Nerdentialsmedia.com. All one location. Everything can be found there. Nicholas, Matthew, thank you for joining me this week. This has been podcast episode 94. We're that much closer to 100. So I leave our listeners and viewers with this. And Matthew will leave you with that. Guys, thanks for watching. This has been your Nerdy Essentials. For myself, Nick, and Matthew, we'll see you on the other side.
Behind your back.
It was... Ooh, careful, guys. He's watching. The ginger's free.